Hi, welcome to Thursday's video. I was or usually would put up a Poetry Thursday, but the poem that I practiced and that I have been thinking about is actually the opposite of anything joyful or holiday driven. And so I didn't really want to put that out there this month. Or at least this week or right now. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little more joyous. Let me back up. Let me back up for a moment. So what happened is that I posted a video about unseating Infinite Jest as the longest book that I've read. And in that process, in that video, I talked about Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, the famous fantasy novel, or novels, however you want to think of it, that features hobbits and a ring and their epic journey to destroy the ring, this evil ring. It's obviously more complicated than that. That is a horrible, horrible summary of it. But as I was thinking about Tolkien, I was feeling bad about what I said, and I was like, I need to ask the BookTube forgiveness. So BookTube, in my asking of forgiveness for me not absolutely adoring Lord of the Rings and having a bit of a complicated relationship with it, but in my process for forgiveness, for penance, please, I'm going to show you my Lord of the Rings collection. Now, it's a bit of a misnomer to say it's mine. It's actually my husband. My husband and I share the collection. However, I have purchased a lot of these because I will buy them for gifts for my husband, and then they are added to our collection. So, let's start off with the one I've already showed you. I'm going to start off with books. I'm going to start off with books. Now I'm going to start off with Lord of the Rings, the whole guide, and then I'll move through illustrated guides, other books, not like volumes of Tolkien's writing, and then I'm going to talk about some art books about Lord of the Rings. So first off, I have this. This is all three books. The Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, and the Return of the King is all in this one volume. But if I was going to say, if you were going to buy this as a gift for somebody, if you know that they love Lord of the Rings, actually I would buy a box set, or I would buy them separately, because this is a huge book, and I don't love the reading experience that this renders. I think actually I would prefer, as a reader myself, if I was talking about my own preference, I would actually love those little pocket paperbacks. I think Gina has them. Gina, Stand Your Books. The little pocket paperback versions of them. So, but this is mine from college, and so I will always keep it. It will always be part of the collection. Okay, next one. We have the illustrated version of Lord of the Rings, and this is all of the books in here, and there are illustrations to go with it. This is illustrated by Alan Lee, and it is just a stunning book for any Tolkien lover, any Tolkien lovers out there to have in their collection. It is huge. Let me see how big this tome is. This comes in at basically 1,200 pages. So 1193. And that excludes some of the maps in the back. But it is a gorgeous version to look at. And we've had it in our collection for a very long time. Alright, then if you're going to get the illustrated version of the Lord of the Rings, you also need the illustrated version of The Hobbit. So this is also done by Alan Lee. I love The Hobbit because it is truly more of a childish story, and it is far less epic and more of an adventure story. There's a lot more humor. There's a lot more, I want to say the action sequences are closer together, and there's just there's just a silliness to it that Lord of the Rings doesn't quite have. But yeah, gorgeous version of the illustrated copy of The Lord of the Rings. And again, it's, of The Hobbit. And again, it's illustrated by Alan Lee. Okay, the next one, if you're gonna continue with the illustrated versions, the illustrated version of the Silmarillion. So can you see that we love our illustrated versions? This is actually illustrated by Ted Nasmith. And this is gorgeous. It's about the same size as the Hobbit book. And I prefer Alan Lee's illustrations, but Ted Nasmith has a gorgeous style as well. As you can see right here, just absolutely stunning. We are huge art lovers in our house. My husband went to art school. He is a photographer and has dabbled in many different art forms. And so we tend to keep a lot of art books in our collection. So here's another picture that's inside the illustrated version of the Silmarillion. Okay, so those are my illustrated guides. Now I'm going to be talking about other Tolkien books that we own. The first one is Children of Hurin. Hurin? Oh my goodness. Don't come for me, y'all. Okay, so Children of Hurin. This is one of Tolkien's book, edited by Christopher Tolkien, his son. And again, there's some illustrations in it. And the illustrations are done by Alan Lee. So beautiful. A smaller copy than the other illustrated versions, but also just very, very beautiful. Oh, this is my favorite book that we own. The second favorite book we own of our collection. I have seen Aaron Facer. I think he has the exact same copy of The Hobbit. One of the reasons why I love this is because this is the exact edition that my husband read in elementary school. And it is just this really precious green cover, this green illustrated cover. And my husband's best friend from elementary school, they met in, I think, first grade, but they didn't become best friends until second grade or third grade. And they have been best friends throughout their entire life, even now. So they've had a close to a 40-year friendship, which is just wonderful. And he bought this for my husband for a birthday or Christmas or something. And when my husband opened it, he audibly gasped. My husband is a very tidy, buttoned-up person, and he audibly gasped when he opened this version of The Hobbit, because it was the one that he read when he was in elementary school, the same edition, not the same copy. And it's just a wonderful size, a beautiful hardcover, and just the most perfect size to read for one's hands and one's eyes and things like that. Okay, now I have a pairing. So these are, let's see, I can make sure I'm in frame. The History of Middle-earth and The Treason of Isengard. So, I mean, these are The Return of the Shadow and The Treason of Isengard, and they are in a series of books. There's a 7-volume series. We only have 2, and they are, ooh, we're falling apart over here, you all. They are, gracious me, who are they by? Are they by Tolkien? I think they are by Tolkien. I'm so sorry, you all. Edited by Christopher Tolkien, his son. So these are gorgeous. Again, there are 7 volumes, and they are just other writings that Tolkien has surrounded or set in Middle-earth. I'm saving the best for last, okay? I'm saving the best for last. Okay, then we have The Lord of the Rings, A Reader's Companion. And this is by Wayne G. Hammond and Christina Scull. And what's wonderful about this is there's the history of the Lord of the Rings. That's how it starts. And then it will take little there will be quotes, bold. Let me see if I can, come on. So there will be quotes bolded, and then underneath there are the notes that the authors included explaining that that quote. And so actually I would have probably really enjoyed this in college when I was writing. I've taken a Lord of the Rings class, and so I would have really enjoyed this in college if I had it and was able to use it. I don't remember when we got this one, when we bought it. Okay, the most exciting books, for me at least. So this is an atlas of Middle Earth, and this is by Karen Wynne Fonstand. And there are just large maps in here of Middle Earth, and it's just, again, another companion, illustrated guides to the world and to the setting. I mean, just really well done, and a fun book to dig through if you're really into Lord of the Rings. Then we have Tolkien's World, Paintings of Middle Earth. What's really, really neat about this book is that there are paintings done by a whole bunch of different artists. So this is Robert Goldsmith, and it's the way that they envision Middle Earth. But what's neat is that you're going to get a whole bunch of different art styles in here, and their different takes of Tolkien's Middle Earth. So this is Roger Garland's version, and so there's a full page picture on one side of the artist and their work, and then an explanation of the piece, a small essay explaining the piece on the opposite page. Alan Lee, who I mentioned earlier, who has done some of the illustrated guides that we own, which I really, really enjoy his art style. It's very pastel, that leans purple blue, and a lot of detail. He uses, instead of a lot of black, he uses a lot of white to counterbalance and create depth. So this is John Howe. I'll show you. This is his version of Gandalf. And so, again, what I really love about this is you're going to get a whole bunch of different versions of artists and their take on Middle Earth and the settings in Lord of the Rings. So this is Michael Haig. So I'm going to close this now. But the creme de la creme, the book that I am most proud to own, to be honest with you, is Pictures by Tolkien. And there is text written by Christopher Tolkien. I bought this several years ago. I would say probably 10 or 8 years ago. And I bought it as a gift for my husband. And this is they're very, from what I remember, it was very difficult to find. But this is Tolkien's artwork of his own world. And so look at this. It's these watercolor versions of the Lord of the Rings, and some are unfinished. Some of the pictures are unfinished, but some of them are his doodles, and some of them are really true full-length photos. I mean, art pieces that Tolkien did of his own world. I don't know if Tolkien, actually this is a question for the comments. I don't know, that's not the question. The question is, do you know Tolkien's art background? Did Tolkien draw the pictures to his liking? I know that if I were to draw portraits of my family, for example, they would not come out the way that I would want them to come out, versus a professional artist could render an image of my family better than I could. So I actually don't know how much he liked his own work and his own depiction of the Lord of the Rings, of his world of Middle Earth. I'm not really sure. So do you all know what Tolkien's take was on his own artwork and where he was as an artist? But I got cut off. So it's still really neat to see Tolkien's work highlighted in this book, his drawings, and then the explanations written by his son. And really, that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you. Maybe I'll get around to getting that poem done in the future. Reading that poem for next Poetry Thursday, but you know, as forgiveness, as penance, I have my Lord of the Rings collection, and I hope you all enjoyed. If you have any questions about the books or maybe ISBN numbers, if you're interested, let me know, and I will add that into the show notes down below or the description box down below. But otherwise, if you have a sizable Lord of the Rings collection, I would be really, really interested to see your collection. You know, I'm not, this is just a call to those, or to those who make videos. But if you are a subscriber, a wonderful and amazing subscriber that is the fuel to all of our booktuber channels, if you are there and you don't make videos, I would love to see in a comment below maybe one of the books that you own or several of the books that you own by Tolkien that you are particularly proud of. Those good finds, those wonderful books. I would just love to see it. But that is it from me. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.